street meditation. That's very Tara-like, isn't it? And actually helping on the farm as well, isn't it? Active. I just feel really moved. So, I hope I can communicate well. I'll be talking for about 20-25 minutes or so, just about Tara. And she's a figure, so it's a female figure. But in the end, you know, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas go beyond male and female. You know, they go beyond gender separation, beyond polarity, really, beyond duality. So, yeah. She's in the form of a female figure. You've got two of her on the shrine here. So the bottom one, that's Green Tara. And if you have a chance later, just have a good look at her. So it's where she has this posture of her left hand near her heart, palm out, and her three fingers are up, and they symbolize the three jewels. You know, she's giving the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Yeah, the most, actually that what really helps people to gain insight, to become wise. Yeah, that's the thing. So but also it's a gesture of fearlessness. Yeah, the hand like that, the palm out into the world. You see the standing Buddha there behind Holly at the door. It's got that same gesture. Yeah, going fearlessly into the world. Fantastic. It's a very moving gesture, I think. So she holds that hands near her heart. Yeah, the heart is courage. And her right hand is out in the gesture of giving. Again, palm out into the world. Yes, she gives. That gesture of generosity. And her left leg is in meditation posture, drawn in, and then with her right leg, she steps with her foot out into the world. Again, I just before the break, you know, just brought that balance in of in and out. I've been with Tara over 30 years. Yeah, I meditate on. When I became ordained, that's the Buddhist figure that I took on. Actually, she took me on, but I'll tell you that story later. She did, yeah. And she's green. She's got a beautiful face. You know, she's got a beautiful face. And Kuniravacha last week talked about Avalokiteshvara and that he was presented as a young, 16-year-old. And Tara is like that as well, a 16-year-old. But my Tara is wise and beautiful, and ageless in a way, ageless. Yeah. Her hair is in a kind of a knot at the top. Half of it is in a top knot, and there she gathers all the qualities. It sort of stands for, you see all the Buddha there as well. He's got this top knot here, and it's the top of the body. It's where all the qualities in perfection gather. You could say the qualities of an enlightened mind. So that's what it symbolizes. The perfection of the qualities of an enlightened mind. So think of your head. I mean, Wendy is trying to create it. You're almost there. Yeah. And then the rest of her hair, the other half, is kind of flowing down her back. And that's a symbol of freedom. Yeah, so I love those two, that symbolism of the hair. Yeah. There's just a lot of symbolism in these figures, and I mean, there's no way we can cover all of that in one evening, in 20 minutes. So I'm just introducing you a bit to what's important to me and her to you. So her body is green, yeah, her body is green, and green is the color of, well, healing, nature. At the moment, spring going into summer, it's just lush everywhere, isn't it? Our garden exploded. So, and is that greenness that is it's very healing, isn't it, to be in that lushness. It's fresh air as well, like trees bring, the leaves, they bring oxygen, you know, it's like really lovely to be in that kind of, in nature in that way. And Tara's green color is like that. Green is also the color of action. So like Amoghasiddhi, who's green, if you're familiar with the Buddha, Amoghasiddhi is the Buddha of action. And Tara has that green color of that same action. So again, that's that going out into the world. Yeah. So that's green Tara, and above her sits white Tara. There's lots of Taras, at least 21. And why so many? Yeah, so that's quite interesting. There's so many Buddhist figures, and then Tara, you know, is even 21, if not more. And they're different colors: white, green, there's yellow, golden, there's red, and the different Taras have different positions, different postures. They stand, some stand like a Dakini dancing, you know, stamping on the earth. One foot up, one leg up, one leg down. Might hold really, they can look quite wrathful as well, not all peaceful. Yeah, and they can have different implements in their hands. That's a symbol of freedom, really. And the Taras are very, very peaceful, like white Tara and green Tara here. Yeah, and these different, all these different figures, all these bodhisattvas and Buddhas and that many Taras, they all kind of call on something in us. Yeah, and we all, you might have heard this before, but why there are so many is because, well, I often say there's so many of us. Yeah, so there's one for everybody, if you see what I mean. It's a particular quality or particular aspect that might really draw you in, and that's the point. How do we get touched, opened up by a quality, by these figures? That's their meaning, really, that they actually touch us right into our heart, and that we open up and can be with that and let, flourish into being like that. Yeah, I've gone off script, never mind. So white Tara and green Tara are here on the shrine because green Tara is, the bottom one is my statue, or Rupa. Rupa is form, is my Rupa. And the one above that is Xantika's Rupa, white Tara. She practices white Tara, I practice green Tara. But I've also started to practice white Tara a bit recently, actually since a year. White Tara is quite different, and that's quite interesting. White Tara has both hands like green Tara, so one near her heart, one out into the world. But both her legs are in meditation. Yeah? And green Tara only has 3 eyes, you know, 2 like us, and then 1 on her forehead. And white Tara has 7 eyes. Yeah? So she has those 3. So the one in her forehead as well, and on her hands and her feet there's another eye, so she's got 7, which is quite amazing, isn't it? Just to think of that, if you had eyes in your feet and your hands, and you know, in your forehead, and then your normal eyes, you would see a lot, wouldn't you? So for her, it's like she's even wiser, if that's such a thing, yeah? They're all enlightened. How wise can you be? But she's even wiser. That seeing, just seeing, yeah? And white Tara is, well, the white is beautiful as well, the color is just, she's all about stillness, that real depth, going deeper and deeper into stiller and stiller ways of being, you know, dipping deeply into the wisdom that's there and seeing with that clarity. And she still gives, yeah, with her hand. So what I brought her in because what's happening with me and my practice with Green Tara, who's been with me like since 1988. How long is that? It's a long time, isn't it? It's like her left side, which is more inward, yeah, the side that goes in. That's where Vaitara comes in for me. So that becomes more and more like a deepening stillness of Vaitara. And then there's the active side. So for me, it's for everybody, it's a real practice to find that balance, isn't it, between giving and being with. I'll say a bit more about that later, but yeah, how to do that well. So this Green Tara Rupa, this statue, was given to me on my ordination. So she's been with me as well for a long time. And two friends of mine went to India in that time. I was given money from friends for a rupa. Yeah, because not any rupa is the one that speaks to you. Yeah, so they're all different. And some friends were going to India, and one friend was also a Green Tara practitioner, as you could say. So I gave her the money to buy a rupa for me in India, and she bought this one. And then she took it to Dhardo Rinpoche. Dhardo Rinpoche is one of Sangharakshita's teachers who lived in Kalimpong at the time, was still alive. Beautiful man, actually, beautiful, very kind man. And they went to see Dhardo, and my friends, they asked him to bless this rupa, and they also had their own rupas. So this rupa was with Dhardo for a day and a night, you know. He stayed in his bedroom. So, and I just find it incredible. I know he will do conscientious, he would have blessed for all those rupas with a lot of care, a lot of care and respect. So when I see Tara, when I'm with this rupa, I feel that, that lineage of care and respect, and deep faith in how these figures can actually have an effect on us and change us. So, and that yellow cloth, that kata came with her, so he gave that, that's from him. So I find it very moving, yeah. It's also a link with Green Tara for me because Sangharakshita, I was ordained by Sangharakshita. So he gave me my name and he gave me the Green Tara practice. And it is a practice that a meditation that he did for many, many years. So that's, and then Dhardo Rinpoche was his teacher. So it's that link, yeah. And the Green Tara practice was given to Sangharakshita by another teacher of his, Sangye Tetrul Dorje. Tetrul Sangye Dorje. Again, there's a link there as well. So this, we're talking about figures on our Triratna Refuge tree here. I mean, I didn't do that. I didn't say that in the introduction, but that's what we are looking at, different figures that are on our refuge tree. I won't say any more about it, but yeah, those teachers of Sangharakshita are on that as well, and Tara is on that. So when we think of Tara, I also think of White Tara, and I hope that Xantika will do an evening on White Tara, even though she isn't specifically on the refuge tree, right? Yeah. There's also both Taras, they hold a lotus flower in the right hand, in the left hand. Yeah, and the lotus flower opens near the shoulder. Yeah, sometimes there's different types of lotus flowers, but this lotus flower is blue and it's called an Utpala flower, and I love the symbolism of that because it opens at midnight, and I love that. Yeah, there's something about that, not in the daylight, it's at midnight. seeing in the dark, I think, the beauty in the dark. All these symbols speak in a different way to us, but they conjure up something beautiful, don't they? White Tara is associated with the full moon, yeah. But green Tara with the crescent moon, the new moon, when it just starts. There was a beautiful moon a week ago with Venus, the star planet. There's this beautiful crescent. Whenever I see a crescent moon, I think, Tara, yeah. Yeah, and there's also her symbolism. There's also the jewelry. She's dressed in jewels, and they all have a meaning as well. It's not just jewels, if you see what I mean. And that's again lovely with symbolism. There's associations with particular, let's call it Dharma theory, that you can then reflect on, when you are with that. So I'll just take you through them, because these are the 6 perfections, which are 6 trainings for a bodhisattva. So somebody who's practicing as a bodhisattva, which is somebody who, gives and gives and gives, is generosity itself, vows in a way not to leave the world until everybody is enlightened. Now that's quite a vow, isn't it? But the 6 perfections are part of that practice. We study them often in our Dharma courses or studies. So the first one is dana, dana, giving, and that is that's the hand, the hand going out, right? Dana. Actually, the hand. It's actually I'm talking about the jewel. So it's the bracelet. Yeah, that she's got bracelets on her wrists, and that's dana. There's ethics. That's the second paramita, the second perfection. Those are our earrings. They're ethics. It's a reminder of ethical practice. There's patience, shanti, and that's her necklace at her heart. Patience. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? Well, the earrings might be a bit difficult. I often ponder on that and think, it's hearing, really listening. Maybe. Then there's energy, virya, energy for the good. And those are her, the anklets. So say the bracelets around her ankles. There's the energy there. And then there's prajna, wisdom. That is the tiara in her hair. She's got a tiara in her hair with the 5 Buddhas. So that's the wisdom. And then there is meditation, or samadhi, and that's she's got a jewelry around her waist, around the navel, around her waist. So that's meditation. Belly work, you could say. So it's just nice to think about those things. You don't have to remember all that. It's more to bring that in. All these, symbolism is rich. Now her name, Tara, means star. Star, again, very lovely name. And it's also she who ferries across. So she who helps everyone to go from the world of suffering, the states of suffering, to a mind state that is enlightened, that's full of insight. So from samsara to nirvana, she helps us across. And she's quick. That's another one. She's a quick one. That's another name for her. Quick. She's immediate. So she's like the quintessence of compassion. And I was thinking, what does that mean? That word, quintessence. How can you have more compassion than Avalokitesvara, who we heard about last week? But Tara is almost like the essence or the purification of that compassion. And I can see it as the action. She's right there. There's no pause. The action is immediate. That's Tara, quick. So she's very popular in Tibet, very popular, like Avalokitesvara. You can see her painted on rock faces, yeah, in valleys, and her mantra is around, like Avalokitesvara's mantra. But she's very popular because people call on her, you know, when they're in trouble. They call Tara and she's there, yeah. So you can say, what happens there when you call on a Buddha or a Bodhisattva? And I think whether they're inside or outside doesn't matter, does it? Because when it works, it works. So somehow, what I think you call on is those strengths, those qualities in yourself to be able to cope with the situations. Yeah, it's all about mind changing, really. So that's what it is about, really. Yeah. So she's utterly compassionate, if that's a word. Yeah. And she's very gentle and strong and forgiving. So that transformation, that transformative power of letting those symbolism and qualities really touch you. Yeah. How do we do that? How would you let that kindness in, or that gentle strength? Yeah. Just by being with, I suppose, and letting it, just feeling it really, without trying to analyze it, just seeing what touches you. I said earlier that she was actually choosing me, and there's a story there. It's quite, well, I get quite moved. My mother was dying. I was training for ordination. It was in '86. I was not yet ordained. And I was with my mother, who was dying in Holland. And normally, Vajrasattva is another Buddha who his mantra is often used when people are dying, you know, around death. It's supposed to be really supportive and helping. And I just thought that I would be chanting Vajrasattva mantras just quietly, you know, for myself while sitting with my mum. She was Catholic, so yeah, but you know, for me, I just wanted to chant the mantras inwardly. But actually, Vajrasattva didn't turn up. It was Tara who turned up, right? Just started chanting, just without thinking, the Tara mantra came. She was there. And then I reflected on that. And Tara is actually also associated with death, because of her kindness and her care. But what it made me realize is that, when I reflected on that later, is that I thought that Tara was weak. Yeah, that kind of kindness and gentleness is weak. Yeah. Actually, I thought that women were weak. Somewhere I started to discover that I thought that women were weaker than men. And the phrase that I used was, men can do it better. I mean, I can see the conditioning from family in there, but that was quite an insight, you know, for me, just discovering that. And so I wasn't even pondering on letting Tara in properly. Yeah. And also I realized that my mother was dying. I loved her, but I thought that she was a bit weak at times. Yeah. But she wasn't. Yeah. So I just started to really look at that whole area and asked Tara to help me. And over the years, you know, it's rubbish, isn't it? There isn't such a thing really as being weaker than. So Tara really, well, when I became ordained 2 years later, after my mama died, I took on Tara as a practice, and she becomes stronger and stronger, you know. And also it really helped me to really see deeply that how powerful metta is, how powerful kindness is, how powerful that is, yeah, how we need it, and how it helps towards change and transformation. So, yeah. So Tara really helped me transform that view. Got a little bit more. So what helps as well for letting well, for me, like letting a figure like that in is using a mantra. Yeah, just chanting the mantra like we just did earlier. This is my Tara Mandala, Tara Mala. Yeah, I can't do it. It's green. That was given to me as well. It's a lovely mala. Yeah, had many green Tara mantras on it. A mala has, it's like a rosary in a way, but it's helping you to count. Yeah, there's 108 beats. And I suppose what happens as well when you do that a lot with a mala is so the mala becomes very precious. It feels like, yeah, like when you're meditating with the Buddha, you know, that you can feel it, can't you? So I feel the mala and I feel the mantra, that kind of thing. So Tara, it's just now a little bit about Tara's main quality, which is that compassionate action. That she goes out into the world, she's immediate in giving, but she's not about self-sacrifice, and this is really important. She's not about giving yourself up in that way. Yeah, she's about selfless action. Yeah, she's there immediately, but the selflessness comes from inside. Yeah, she doesn't have anything attached to this ego or this self anymore. She's free from greed, hatred, and delusion of ignorance. So she can, that left side, that inside side, that wisdom side really supports all the action. Yeah. So she knows clearly, she sees clearly, she knows what to give, how to give in every situation. It's always appropriate, it's always skillful. And I find it incredibly inspiring, because I'm not like that, not yet. Sometimes, yeah. We make mistakes all the time, isn't it? But for me, it's, well, that is practice, learning how to be more like that. So that's why I meditate on her. I want to be more like that, and not give myself a hard time when I'm not. Yeah. So we all make mistakes so often, but that's how we learn, isn't it? But that, yeah, that's what is skillful action, what is appropriateness. Santika reminded me today of a story where how we often think that we're doing the right thing, but we're not. Yeah, the motivation is great, isn't it? We want to help. We often want to help. We give advice. Yeah, maybe too quick at times. Yeah, but there's a story of when you help somebody across the road. This old lady, you know, you help her to cross the road, and then you find out that she didn't want to cross the road at all. Right? So that's a good story, isn't it? Is what we do is so helpful. And again, helpfulness is beautiful, because there's that care, that empathy. We want to make things better, great, but also, yeah, we want to learn how to do that better. And so it is really good to reflect on your motivation. It's often mixed, you know. There is that care, that wanting to help in there, but often when is it not appropriate? It's when we for instance, when we feel uncomfortable in a situation and we're trying to do something because we are wanting to create comfort, if you see what I mean. We don't want to be with that discomfort, yeah. Or we want it to be good, to be praised, to be right. Of course we want to do the right thing, but what is the right thing? Yeah. Or we don't want to feel our fear or anxiety, yeah, or pain, yeah, or we just want to be loved and liked, which is fair enough, but you know, loved and liked. But when that takes over of how we can really help in a situation, yeah, then yeah, it's not always appropriate. So again, Tara is also about seeing clearly, kindness and forgiveness, not judging. She can see what's needed, she discriminates. She's got this discriminative awareness, but she doesn't judge, right? beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what inspires me. I would love us to go in smaller groups, and maybe 3 or 4. And if the order members can spread out, that'd be great. Just to have a bit of time to ponder on this skillful or appropriate action. You know, maybe you have a situation that comes to mind where it wasn't appropriate, or one that was. So just think about that a bit more. I think little groups are always helpful to just take things a bit deeper. Yeah. And Xantika online, is it a big group? You could stay all together, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Great. We come back about just 2 minutes before the end. Yeah? Oh yeah, I'm looking at Zach, but it's Xantika, so you can hear me. Okay, let's go in little groups. Too much action in the world. Okay, everybody, it is actually time, so would have been lovely to end with a mantra, but another time. So I hope you were with Tara tonight. Good. Have a good look at her before you go, and go well. What's on next week?